I'm watching the rise. And I wouldn't say I'm shocked cause I'm hardly surprised. This one's for the ride. This one's for who knew I'd make it, just needed some time. This one's for my wife. Could have left 1,000 times just about my side.
Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Randy Kaye, and I'm the host of the Caught Up podcast. Today we have Brooke Denton. She is a 2026 middle infield prospect from Centennial High School in Peoria, Arizona. She's a driven student athlete with big dreams of playing college softball, and she's putting in the work to make it happen. We're talking about her journey so far, what fuels her competitive fire, and the mindset it takes to chase this dream at a high level. Brooke, it's always great to see you. Thanks for taking the time to catch up.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. What's going on?
Nothing much right now. Just finished off high school season and getting ready for club.
Yeah. What, you sound like you were kind of busy today. What'd you have going on?
I had a nonprofit golf tournament. My dad runs a nonprofit to support athletes that can't particularly afford to play sports or afford equipment, or schools can't afford to have that sport at the school or have a good program. So we donate to schools and will sponsor athletes who need help with payment or just anything that they'll need to be able to play in sports and participate and succeed.
Cool. So you guys had what, like a golf tournament?
Mm-hmm. We had it was about probably 50 to 75 golfers today. It's called Champions for Lee. And then today at the golf tournament, we sponsored, his name's Jeremy, and he competes in the Special Olympics. So we sponsored him to help him continue to pursue his journeys at the Special Olympics.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
and I
so
don't know if you
fun.
know this. Yeah, no, that sounds like fun. I don't know if you know this, but I was talking to your dad recently, and he was talking about his nonprofit, and I've heard him say Champions for Lee, and I just happened to bring up a family or somebody that I knew. I think we were talking about a particular area around Independence High School, and I had mentioned a guy named Kyle Lee. And he was like, well, that's Lee's, or I'm sorry, Kyle Holt. I mentioned a guy named Kyle Holt, and he goes, well, that's Lee Holt's brother. That's Champions for Lee. That's my whole thing. And so he actually told me like the whole story, and I was like, man, how crazy and how small of a world is it when going back that far, and then all of a sudden we're talking about it. I mean, I used to know that family back in the day, just going to school with them and things like that. So really, really small world. So you said 50 to 75 golfers. What did you do there today? What was your role? Were you golfing?
I don't golf in the tournament. I just do all the behind the scenes helping. I'm not a big golfer, but I'll pick up the putter and do a little putting every once in a while. But I get there early, 6 a.m. check-in. So me, my mom, and my brother will help check everybody in the morning. And then I go around in a golf cart and I take pictures of everyone because I manage the Champions for Lee Instagram account. Just trying to promote the nonprofit, hopefully get as much donations as we can. So I go around taking pictures of all the groups and saying hi to everyone, welcoming. And then after the golf tournament, we have a lunch for everybody prepared. So I'll go in early, help set that up, stay after, and help clean it up.
Dang, I didn't know you were a social media person too. When are you going to help me out and start taking over one of my accounts? Might need some help.
Yeah, I'm trying to get that one up and going a lot and get some more followers and more people.
Yeah. They say it's really not about followers nowadays. It's more about engagement. Like how much like you engage with people and how much people how much they stay on your feed and how, that sort of thing. It's not, followers is awesome, but like it's all crazy. So let's talk about like your family. Obviously your dad has a huge interest in sports and helping youth sports. Talk about your family in sports and like what role your family has played in your athletic journey.
Yeah, well, I would definitely say that my family we're surrounded by sports and athletics all the time. That's just how I grew up. I have an older brother who's Brandon, he's 20. And then my younger brother, Patrick, is 14. So I'm right there in the middle. And I would just say that, so my dad grew up playing basketball, football, anything he could type of thing. And my mom, she still plays soccer now every Wednesday. Like she's still going. My older brother playing baseball in Wisconsin right now in college. And then my little brother plays basketball still. And I would just say that being surrounded by such a athletic family and people who care so much about their work ethic and, you know, all the putting in the work behind the scenes and everything. And I just think it's helped me a lot to be able to have parents specifically who they know what it takes and they know what I need to do. So they're able to help push me. And I think that was a really helpful way for me to kind of grow my love for the process and for the training and for all the extra hours. And then with my brothers, I would just say it's really helpful for me because I have people that, you know, my brothers are my best friends, and it's really nice to be able to like, hey, Brandon, Patrick, you guys want to go lift? Let's go. I'll go get rebounds for you if you go put balls on the tee for me. Like, it's just nice to have a support system like that.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Who's the most competitive out of all of you guys?
I would say it's me for sure, but me and my dad actually go back and forth at it a lot. Like, we have a ping pong table out in the garage with the cage and the gym and everything. And, you know, anything that we can do to have some sort of competition, but definitely between me and my brothers too. Like, we're always finding somehow to compete somehow. Like, even if it's just like, I'm not a basketball player, but I'll go outside and I'll see if I can make more free throws than you. Like, so I would just say that there's definitely a lot of competition in our family, and it brings us together. And that's a big part of who our family is and our support system and everything. And that's just how we are, even though sometimes it can get a little bit out of hand. Like, it's all out of love.
And so you said your mom plays soccer, still getting after it. You said every Wednesday. What is that like? What, is it like a women's league, a co-ed league? What is it?
It's a co-ed league. So every Wednesday they're co-ed league. They'll do double headers. They go into playoffs. It's a whole thing. We'll go as a family to go watch every once in a while. And it's more intense than you'll think. Cause I mean, it's a very wide age range, because there's 20-year-olds and then there's my mom who's 47. And I mean, it's competitive. It's fun to watch.
Yeah. Well, I know as an older person, like, we're not going to want to get shown up by the younger ones, for sure. So we're going to go lay it all out there on the line. And then at the end of the night, we're going to like limp home and, you know, and try to get like, you know, our bodies right for the next day. That's pretty funny. So are you guys like do you guys watch sports? It sounds like you guys compete a little bit. I know you have a basketball hoop and a gym and things outside and like you said, ping pong, but do you guys watch sports? And if so, like, what do you guys like watching as a family?
I would say, honestly, we mostly watch, like, during softball season. Obviously, softball is a lot on, especially for me and my dad. But my whole family really likes watching basketball. I would say that's probably, other than softball, one of my favorite sports to watch. So there's lots of basketball. There's basketball on the TV probably right now. Like, so we definitely watch lots of basketball. We're not a big baseball family, honestly, even though Brandon plays. Like, it's a little slow for us, but football, basketball, and softball, I would say we for sure watch quite a bit of those. My dad's a Broncos fan.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. What made you like carve your own path, like into, with your dad playing basketball, and your mom playing soccer? Like, what was it that drew you to softball?
Well, I would say, especially when I was younger, I tried every sport I possibly could. Like, I played soccer, volleyball, basketball. I tried dance. I did gymnastics. I did everything, like, just trying to figure out like what was best for me type of thing and what I loved. But I would say what really like inspired me to play softball was honestly Brandon playing baseball. Like, just growing up at the baseball field, I feel like, and at the Little League field, and just always being around it. Like, I don't know why I didn't try it earlier, honestly. But I think that really like drove me to play softball. And it was honestly easy for me because I could go to Brandon about things and we could start hitting together. And I remember when I started playing softball in like Diamond Girls or whatever, I started out catching because we, on our little Diamond Girls team, we had this one pitcher and she was throwing pretty hard for whatever. We were 10 years old or whatever. And I remember no one wanted to catch her. And little tiny Brooke was, for some reason, said she wanted to go catch. But I remember putting on the gear and going and catching and everything. And that was really good for me. But with that, my brother being a pitcher, constantly him, well, can I just pitch to you? Let me pitch to you. I'm like, okay, like, I'll try. But
Did
so
you
I would
catch him?
definitely, I tried when I was younger, but he got a little fast for me once I was ending my catching career. And I'm very glad I moved into the middle infield.
Gotcha. Was he a little wild too? Like couldn't hit his spots?
A little bit.
Throwing balls in the dirt?
Back when we were little, he'd spike some in the ground every once in a while.
That's so funny. Yeah, no, it's always nice to have somebody that you can kind of work out with and someone that holds you accountable. I know he's a pitcher, right?
Mm-hmm. He's a pitcher
obviously
only.
Obviously you just said that. Yeah, at this point especially. And so like did he play any other sports?
He up until high school he played basketball, and mostly basketball and baseball. But he really stuck with baseball only once he got to high school, just to focus on that and his pitching and everything.
Cool. And then when it's all said and done, like, you know, you fell in love with softball. Like, do you remember that moment? Like when you were like, this is it, this is what I'm focusing on. This is the sport for me. I'm going to give everything I got and go full into, trying to become the best softball player I can be.
I really do feel like it was once I started, because when I first started playing, like 7-8 years old type of thing, like that was kind of still in the ranges of like trying things out. Even when I was like 9 and 10, I was still trying things out. So I would say definitely once I really started getting into catching and like loving that and just loving that like leader, I think it was really when I started finding that leadership role, even on a young team, like having like a loud voice on the field. And I was really fortunate to have, even from a young age, coaches who taught me to try and be a leader on the field and hold people accountable and hold myself accountable. So I think once I started like gaining that leadership role, even from a young age, like that, I was really like, this is where I need to be. This is what I love. This is what I want to do.
Do you think maybe you just like bossing people around? Because catchers are kind of bossy, aren't they?
Honestly, probably. I'm a little bossy, but I'll take it. If I could change it to leadership, I'll do it.
Right. No, I was going to say, I mean, being bossy and being vocal and those things is really good. And I think that, you know, it could seem bossy to people that don't know, but on the field, it's leadership. So I like it. So what other sports do you think like helped you? Like, was there any other sport that you really liked too, like that maybe helped you, that maybe helped shape your athleticism, or, you know, let you find some athleticism or love of the game to help you love softball even more?
Well, honestly, my last 2 years of junior high, so my 7th and 8th grade year, I did track for my elementary school, and I really liked track. Like I loved track. Once I got into high school, with it being during softball season, I ended up deciding just to stick with softball, and that was my focus, and I really wanted to focus on that. But I really loved track, and I think that encouraged me to kind of get into learning my athleticism, learning my body, because I did the 100 meter, I did the long jump. I did quite a few events, but the 100 meter and the long jump are definitely my favorite. And I think that helped me learn my body quite a bit. And that really kind of helped me shift gears to the training aspect of things, especially once I got into college and I was more trying to harp on getting stronger, learning my body more. So I think that really helped me to learn my body, learn my muscles, learn kind of my speed too. And that really because speed is just a huge part of my game. So I think that really encouraged that part of me too. And wow, I can take advantage of this for sure if I work on it. So I think definitely that track part of it was really the most helpful other sport that I did on the side.
When it comes to the track piece, was there any other part of I'm kind of out here by myself. There's really no one to blame, or there's no one, I shouldn't say no one to blame. There's no one to hold responsible but me. Is there that competitiveness from within yourself that maybe helped you also learn to be self-motivated? Was that something that maybe you enjoyed as well?
Definitely. I can actually remember the moment of I went to the district meet or whatever it was type of thing, and I remember I just loved having the feeling of people being beside me. I knew exactly I need to be at least one step ahead of this girl. I really enjoyed having that it was honestly like a mental battle between it was me versus everyone else type of thing, you know? And so obviously it's a lot different with softball, with it being, you know, a team sport and you have to work for your team in softball, but it really helped me learn how I have to be not only disciplined to myself, but I have to push myself, because not always is there going to be someone right by my side pushing me to, you know, do that extra rep, you know, put in that little bit more effort, go outside and hit just for a little bit longer, no matter how late it is type of thing. So I think that really like helped me learn how to motivate myself, and just like that sometimes I do have to do it myself. And even though it's hard, and even though there's 12 girls lined up next to me, like I know I can do it if I push myself through, if I get my foot through that finish line, you know, type of thing.
Yeah, it's almost like it seems to me like you enjoy having somebody on your tail, or like you said, right next to you, because from a mental standpoint, it seems like you feed on that. And just based on what I know about you, like anytime there's a competitive, you know, I mean, I watch you take ground balls, and I watch, you know, when somebody makes a play, obviously, you know, then you want to make a play. Like I just see a competitiveness in you. It kind of feels like you really enjoy competition, and the mental piece of that. I think maybe like realizing that, or going through that in your track or in some of your other sports, is probably helped you more than you realize now. You know, especially some of the stuff you've been through lately.
Yeah, 100%. Especially from a young age too, like being able to learn that from, you know, an 7th and 8th grader, to not have to go through that, trying to learn how to push myself as a 17-year-old, you know? So I definitely think that, and like you said, like having people trying to find who is what I think is like, who is the best person at this? I want to be right next to you. So, because I'm going to beat you and I'm going to be better than you type of thing. So that's why one of my favorite things is like when all the college girls are coming home for the summer, like I want you to come hit with me. I want to go take ground balls with you, because I want to push myself and I'm going to be better than you. Like I'm going to beat you this rep, like type of thing, you know? So that's why I love having all the, like, I'll have the girls over to my house and hit type of thing. Like that's one of my favorite things, because not only can I learn from them, their experiences in college, learn from their coaching and everything that they've gone through, but I can honestly, like what I'll do is I'll put myself like, okay, they're here, I'm here, I will be here type of thing, you know?
Yeah. Do you feel them like, do you feel like you're pushing them too? Like, like when the college girls are here and you guys are working out, do you really feel like, man, I think I'm starting to really push this kid? Or, you know, like, I mean, is there any feeling like that, any satisfaction that you get out of that?
I mean, I really hope so, because that's my goal, is to be better than them. So I feel like once I'm able to learn from them and I'm catching up to them, like I feel like they can feel it. And it's an environment too, like when we're all able to collectively push each other and make each other better, like that's what, at the end of the day, like that's what it comes down to, is if the people you surround yourself with are able to push each other. Because, you know, one day I might be hitting terribly, I might not be having a good day, or the person next to me might not be having a good day, but what can I do as the person next to them to make them push themselves harder and have a better day, you know, make their day better or push themselves to be better tomorrow type of thing, you know?
Let's talk about your travel ball journey. Talk about the last couple of years, just, you know, just in general, like where you started 3 years ago, where you kind of feel like you've gotten to at this point, and what you're looking forward to this summer.
Well, I would definitely say because I've been in Rogue now for 3-4 years now. So I would say for me personally, that was a really great decision. There's a lot of opportunities that have come with that, and it definitely put me in a position to push myself. So I would just say with the last 3 years of club, like I've learned a lot about myself, and especially with switching a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, whatever, or a year and a half ago, I think it's about been. So switching to the left side, like during this whole process has really like changed the way that I viewed myself, especially when I can go back and look now at who I was 3 years ago in comparison to who I'm at now. And I would definitely just say like, it's over the last, especially year and a half after my switch, like I've grown such like a heavier passion for my work and for the sport, and my love has grown. Like I've gained a much better appreciation for everything too. And it's just having to push through those first, honestly, the first year of getting through that first hump of switching from left to right, like, or from right to left. I mean, it was a lot of work, and as much as I told myself I was ready, like I had to push myself a lot harder than I honestly would have thought. And I think that just shaped my work ethic and just how much I cared and I love for the sport. So I would just say, especially with club, like, cause I mean, there's great competition going, even the fall going into the summer, like you're facing really great competition and you're traveling. And so I think knowing that I can face that now, when a year and a half ago, it seemed impossible. So to know that I've been able to get over that, like it's given myself the confidence because I know how hard I worked and I know how hard I'm going to work to continue to like get better from that.
Talk about when you first switched over. You said you told yourself it was going to be hard and then you didn't realize how hard. Give me an example of what you did on a daily basis to try to, because I think when we talked about that, I was like, look, you're not going to be very good at this for about a year. Like it's going to take you a year to be able to compete. And to be honest with you, I felt like you competed faster. Like you were competing in the fall. And I think, even going into last season, I think you made some good strides. Or last high school ball season. So at the end of the day, like, talk about what it took, what your daily regiment looked like, and how you push through on those tough days.
Well, so at the end of the day, it's just how much you're willing to put in is how much you're going to get out. And when I started, I knew I'm going to have to put in like so much into this to be able to be great. And that's my goal. I want to be great. I want to play high level college D1 softball. Like I knew those were my goals. So I would say it was just because I started in October, so in the fall. And so it's just hitting every single day, sometimes twice a day. If I'm having and the good thing for me is that I love it. And it wasn't a job to me. It wasn't a chore to me. Like the process was something that I ended up falling in love with through the whole time span. So just hitting every single day, working on my footwork every single day, my bat control every single day, just all the little things. And it's, you have to hit 7 days a week. If you want to be great, like you have to. And especially from switching, like I knew that's what I was going to have to do. So definitely that. And, working on strengthening my other side too. Like that was something that I wasn't expecting is, my rotation isn't as strong from the left side as it was the right side from the switch automatically. So now I'm training even harder now too. So now I got to work on my rotation. I have to work on my hitting. I have to work on my footwork. So it's a lot, but I wouldn't change it for the world. But what some people don't understand is it's not just go to practice and work on it. Like I come home from school, work on it, go to practice, work on it. Next day, coming home, working on it, going to practice, working on it, maybe practice didn't work out. Okay, I'm going to hit again after practice. So there's just a lot of reps, a lot of effort, because for me at the end of the day, I needed reps. I needed to hit 10 buckets every day just to get comfortable with a completely new change that I knew nothing about. But with all of that came so many positives. Like if I wouldn't have pushed myself so hard that I did the first year, and not that I'm not pushing myself the same now, but if I wouldn't have pushed myself as hard, I would have never had the love that I have for the sport right now, or the appreciation, and I wouldn't have the work ethic that I do now.
Yeah. Were there ever any days where like it was just a random day and you were like, I don't know if I can do this. Like this is so hard and I'm not having success. And, maybe, you're starting to question whether or not it's the right move for you. Did you ever go through that stuff?
I mean, I would love to say I didn't, but at the end of the day, there are hard days, and it was hard, especially because I believe in myself a lot and I have a lot of confidence in myself. But there's always, I had coaches telling me that it wasn't a smart decision. I had teammates telling me that they thought I was crazy. I had, friends, family telling me I was insane for making the switch so late in my career. So it was definitely, it could definitely take a mental toll on me. But at the end of the day, I trusted my work and I trusted myself and I trusted the process, even though I didn't know what the outcome was going to be. At the end of the day, I trusted the process. And that was always what I would come back to is, if I continue to work hard, something good will come out of this. And at that point, if I'm giving my all into it, it's out of my control. So why not just give it my all and see what happens?
Yeah. I think obviously quitting would not be an option. But like you said, I mean, you put all your chips on the table and you bet on yourself, and you bet on those who believed in you, and you just went to work. And I've told you this many times, like I see that work ethic and grittiness and being mentally tough is like undefeated in my mind. Like it always wins out. It may not be like exactly the championship moment that we all want or the fairy tale dream, but I promise you that you're going to be so much better for going through this process and making the decision to do what you want and follow your dreams, and kind of like not listening to the people that were trying to tell you it wasn't possible. I mean, I think I said this to you guys. I've said it 1,000 times probably, but I read it somewhere one time that they used to say flying was impossible at one point in history. Like that birds fly, people don't fly. Well, we all know that everything's impossible until somebody does it. But yeah, your journey has been interesting. What about I mean, you decided to do this pretty much like right in the heart of recruiting too. Like right in the middle of it. Like, hey, I'm going to switch to the left side. I'm going to, become, I'm going to utilize my speed. I'm going to utilize, your aggressiveness and your instincts on the base. Talk about, what maybe that thought process was doing it at that time, and what, maybe some of the stuff that crossed your mind, both negatively and positively, during that process.
Yeah, well, it was definitely scary, and I knew the possible outcomes that could happen, and I knew that it might not work out. At the end of the day, it might not have been something that was for me, and that was always something that I knew could happen. But once I decided, like, I am all into this and I am making the switch, I had to let all of those negative thoughts just go to the back. They're gone. I had to let them all go, because I knew that if I had any trace of negative thoughts or any trace of turning back, then there was no point of me even going, because I knew that I had to be 1,000% in on it for it to even work. But it was right in the heart of when my recruiting could have been, and it definitely could have taken a toll. And, who knows, some people could say that maybe things would have been easier if I stayed right-handed. But at the end of the day, I believe that my decision shaped me to be a much better softball player now than I was a year and a half ago. But with the recruiting, it was definitely a little bit, I wouldn't say a setback, but it definitely, made me work harder. It made me have to put in a little bit more effort type of thing, But I remember I went to a camp pretty soon after I switched in October, and I remember going to that camp in January, and I was like, I am insane. I don't know why I'm here. Like, this is crazy. And I remember talking to you about it. I remember talking to my dad about it, and we were like, I don't know if we should do it. I don't know if I'm ready. And we went, and it was amazing. And I remember just going out there and, giving my all. And I remember performing, and, even though, maybe whatever, like I didn't get an offer, that, like, type of thing, like things don't always fall into place exactly how you want them. But that, I would definitely say that going to that camp and putting myself out there in such a vulnerable state that I was in, not possibly being 100% ready to be there, that gave me the confidence that I know I'm going to get through this recruiting process. Because everyone's story is different. My story is going to be different than everybody else's. But I knew that if I keep working, it's going to work out. And if that's a year later than everybody else, then that's a year later than everyone else. There's nothing I can do about that at that point. I have to do all that I can. And from there, I have to let things just fall into place. And I know I'm going to end up where I deserve and where I need to be. And if that's not right away, then that's not right away. But I trust myself. I trust my coaches. I trust all the people that have helped me. I trust myself, all the effort that I'm putting into my recruiting process, that I know things will get done. It's just a matter of when and where type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've told you this. It's going to happen. No, I mean, there's just no doubt. It's just the timeline got moved a little bit, and to me, that's not necessarily the worst thing, because I feel like you're just going to get better and better, and you're going to continue to be, grow stronger and get tougher mentally. I don't know if that's even possible, but you're going to continue to do that, and the more seasoned that you get on the field. I mean, let's talk about defensively, right? I mean, honestly, I've seen a huge improvement in you defensively as well. I mean, I remember at one point it was just like, I couldn't remember the last time you made an error. And so, like, talk about the transformation that you've made also fielding wise, and what you would say has been the most surprising thing for you over the last year or two?
Well, I would say with switching from right to left batting wise, I put so much focus on my hitting. And for a while, like, I was putting everything into my hitting, and I'm glad that I did, because it helped me develop to where I am now hitting wise. But then I started to have to take that step back and be like, all right, I can't just work on this. I have other parts too, type of thing, So I would just say I worked, especially getting to work with Kaye Brunn, like, that helped me immensely. And she pushes me so hard. And personally, I love that. And she pushes me in defensively harder than I had been pushed before, because I felt like I was good. She told me I wasn't. You need to be great, and I'm going to tell you how to be great, and I'm going to tell you I'm going to tell you everything you did wrong. You're going to fix it, and we're going to fix it together. And I'm going to sit there and I'm going to ask Kara, what can I do? What can I do at home? How do I fix this? All right, you're telling me that I need to get better coming around the ball, moving forward. Okay, and then I need to ask you, how do I do that? So I think being able to communicate and work with Kara, it was amazing for me. And then being able to work on it at home, and just, my everydays, every single day, working on my footwork every single day. And for me, it was catching my hands up to my feet, because my feet move so fast and my hands weren't there. So just being able to, which I would have never even thought before, like, being able to go to Kara and her analyzing me and everything. So I would just say she's helped me so much defensively, for sure. And I mean, I'm really only able to work with her defensively. So just having her has helped me a ton, and it's definitely developed me into the defensive player that I am now. And then I would say with all that work, knowing that I put in all that work, I gained a lot of confidence and started gaining that mindset of, I'm getting to every single ball. And I think that mentality switch completely changed my defensive, all my defense, because from there, like, I had no negative thoughts. Like, I had no doubts in myself, because every single pitch, like, I'm getting to every single ball. If the ball is hit wherever on the field, I'm getting there, type of thing. So I think having that mindset switch really helped me, and being able to gain that confidence through all my work and through Kara and everything really helped me. But that mindset switch was probably the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, one of the things that stands out to me is, there's two things actually, because obviously fielding ground balls, working on form and things like that, that's something that we all do. But one of the things that stands out to me is some of the ways that you're able to get to balls to your right and to your left, but more importantly, even going backwards. Because one of the things that I really value for middle infielders is, and the pitchers' parents listening to this will appreciate this, if we get a miss hit and we get a little blooper over the shortstop or over the second baseman or over the first baseman, somewhere in the no man's land, you have to go get that. And we talk about that, right? Like, that ball has to be caught. And to me, that's what separates the good from the great. And then also your game IQ, like I feel like has, and I don't know if it's anticipation or if it's just you're just locked in every pitch because you've been like put under so much pressure at practice time after time. Because we do practice a lot. Like, I mean, infield, like we probably do situations more than anybody, I feel like. And so, but those are the things that I feel like you've gotten really good at and where you stand out. And you're right. I mean, when you were saying that you've become a confident player and you're telling yourself, I'm going to go get every ball or I'm going to go get everything that gets hit my way, I immediately went to the visual that I had of you right now was you in braids. Like there was something about your braids, like when you put those braids in, like I'm getting like just dog. Like I'm going to go get everything and this is my side of the field and nobody's hitting the ball by me. So talk about going, being able to go get those types and make those types of plays and talk about, game IQ wise, how you've improved.
Well, I would say with game IQ, I mean, you have to watch the game. You have to, watch softball. So I would definitely say watching college softball really helps with that. But for me specifically, communication helps me so much. So I would definitely say like our intense working on, like you said, situations, but also communication with that. And I just remember all throughout the fall, specifically like our team working every single practice on communication. And I think that helps me a ton because I love to communicate on the field. I love to talk every pitch. It helps me. And I feel like it helps my teammates too and everyone around me. Just so I think that and being able to say it out loud triggers something into my brain to automatically know it. So I think the communication piece to that definitely helps a ton. And communicating with my pitcher, especially in middle infield too, like who's covering what bag, who's going in on bunt. And so I think that for sure. But also just having, like you said, that intense anticipation and that confidence in myself to know that, because now I don't have to worry as much about, fielding the ball as much as knowing what to do with it, So I think the communication is really important to me, as well as just knowing ahead of time what's going to happen. So it's like the pre-pitch talk, pre-pitch anticipation. So I definitely think that helps me a lot. And helps me make those plays. But at the end of the day, the footwork and everything, that's outside of practice. That's something separate that I have to work on my own, which I know and I do. And I feel like that helps me a ton with making sure I'm getting to all those balls, making sure I'm opening my hips, and drop steps and everything like that. So there's the physical aspect of it, but then there's also the mental aspect with the communication and with, the watching softball to have that IQ and just learning and listening from anyone that I can. Like, I feel like that really just, without even knowing it, slowly builds my IQ and slowly builds any softball player's IQ. Like, I just think being able to communicate with people who have been through it, Kara, like she's played, she has a daughter, Gabby's playing at Oklahoma. Like listening to those people talk, letting them tell me anything, like tell me about your game, tell me about your recruiting process, tell me about anything that you can. And I'm going to soak it all up in and learn what I can, So I just think that aspect of it, just taking everything you possibly can in and learning as much as you can from anywhere and anyone that'll talk so I can listen. And especially like when I was younger and just trying to let anyone tell me anything type of thing and just learning from watching and anything like that, just like really, I feel like can help build your softball IQ.
So not to mention you have Kara and you have, Gabby there at practice and you guys are able to kind of like talk about things and they can tell you, but Gabby can also get out there and show you, and Gabby can also get out there and take ground balls with you like she does and push you guys. What is it like? Explain what in your mind what the difference is watching Gabby even just practice, like her level of intensity, the way she approaches, practice and even warm-ups. Like explain give me your thoughts on that.
Well, I would just say it's every single rep, she's taking it with the highest intensity that she can. Like, I don't think I have, and she's been to numerous practices of ours. And even when we played the girls that come back from college, we had that scrimmage and everything. Like, I don't think in all the time that I've seen her, I've ever seen her take a rep off. And I've seen her have some amazing like days where she's insane and I'm just in awe of, her talent and her work ethic. And I've seen her have some, what she would say is a rough day. But even on those days where she's upset with how she's performing, I've never seen her take a rep off. And I've never seen her, be upset at herself and, kick the dirt and, sigh and just walk off, because she doesn't have to be there. She doesn't have to be taking the reps. Like, she's practicing with a club team. Like, this isn't her team. She doesn't need to be there. She doesn't need to be taking the reps, but she never lets us know, which I think that's kind of one of her things is I'm not going to let them know that I'm struggling type of thing, So I think definitely that. And she just does such a great job at not taking any reps off. And at least for me, like, it pushes me. And when I'm practicing with her, I'm trying to get up to her standard. I'm getting up to where she's at. And so when I'm practicing with her, I'm taking my reps to where I'm going to push myself and I'm going to play better than her. I'm going to field more ground balls than her. I'm going to make more plays than her. So at least for me, that's my mindset when I'm practicing with her. Whether she knows it or not, she's able to push us. And I hope we're able to push her as much as we can. But little does she know, like, I'm sitting there and I'm trying to make more plays than her. And she's pushing me, and I'm able to utilize her as a great player, an amazing player at that, to be able to push myself. And she's just, like I said, really great at not taking any reps off, not taking any plays off, and not letting, missing one ground ball affect her type of thing.
Yeah. When I had her on, she talked about, one of the pieces of advice that she would have for her younger players to find somebody to catch. And so it sounds like maybe when she's there, she's the one that you want to catch.
Definitely.
Talk about, right? Talk about your dream of playing in college. Like, what would be your ideal, without naming schools, right? But like, if you could describe your ideal place to play college, what environment would you want? What type of coach do you want? And, what does that look like for you?
Well, for me, I want to be surrounded by my main thing is I want to be surrounded by like-minded people, whether that's where I'm going to college, who's on my club team, who I'm working out with, who I'm hitting with. I always want to surround myself with like-minded people, because I don't want to be pulled down, or I don't want to be surrounded by people who aren't going to push me. So for me, I don't personally want to go to a school where I'm not going to be pushed. Like, I want to go to a school where there's people I'm coming for other people's spots and they're coming for mine. We're competing every single practice. I want to be able to compete to earn a spot. I don't want anything to be given to me. I want to have to earn my position, and I want to have to earn my spot in the lineup. And I'll do whatever it takes for me to earn that spot. But that's the type of environment that I want to be in. And I want to be able to be surrounded by players who have that same intensity to want to push each other and to want to, battle out for that spot type of thing. And with the same thing going with that, with like teammates, which kind of goes into the same thing with like environment in school, is I want people who want to work. I want an environment where the coach is going to push me just as much as my teammates are. And so the same thing with a coaching standpoint, I don't need a bunch of promises made to me. I just need to know that, you're going to give me an opportunity to gain a position and to earn a position. Because like I said, I don't want anything given to me. I want to be able to earn it, and I want to have to earn it, because that's just who I am. I want to have to work to earn that position type of thing, So for a school, I want to go to a competitive school. Like I said, I'm very competitive. That competitive drive, it drives me to be better, to work hard. So a competitive school, with a coach and teammates and just an environment that'll push me to be better. But I also want to be in an environment where I'm going to have fun. Like, this is my love. I love softball. And at the end of the day, as much as I love the work and I love the process and I love everything that I put into it, it's a game and I love the game. So being able to balance that, I think, is a huge thing too.
Yeah, you hear people talking about loving the process and things like that, and it's always so, cliche, but like, I mean, I know you and you know, I know what you're about, and I know the kind of support that you have at home, and like you genuinely do love the process. Like you love to work, and like I told you, it's evident with the jumps that you've made. And I've told you this before. I think I told you this a couple of years ago, or maybe a year ago. There was a player named Caitlin Richardson back in the day. I think she went to O'Connor, and there was a lot of people that just were like, nice player, in travel ball. I don't remember her stats in high school or anything like that. I just remember, the high school or the travel ball side. And your story reminds that you're going to be similar. Like, I feel like your paths are going to be similar because like she was a kid that was just kind of like just cruising, but worked. And everyone said the kid's work ethic was crazy. And, I remember a coach told her she would never become a D1 player. She wasn't good enough. She wasn't going to be big enough. She wasn't a very big kid at that time. And all she did was work and go on to play D1, high D1 college ball. I think she became an All-American, and then she got drafted. So like, do you feel like maybe you, and I'm not trying to say that was you, but that's the similarities I feel. Do you ever feel slighted? Have you felt slighted? And do you feel like that motivates and drives you?
100%. From the age of whenever I started club, 11 years old, like I was told that there was no way I was going to be able to play D1 softball and that, you know, I was obnoxious. I was told I was obnoxious. I was, putting in all this work for what? Like, I'm not going to play in college. I'm not big enough. I'm not strong enough. I'm, whatever. I got told so many different reasons why I couldn't. And honestly, I was just like, watch me. Like, I will. And every single person who has told me that I can't, like, I will prove you wrong. And so I think that was something, especially like my dad, he always told me, he was like, there will always be people, there will always be haters, always. And he'll tell me that to this day, whether it's school, this is what he tells me, whether it's school, it's softball, it's work, it's family, it's relationships, anything in life, there will always be haters. There will always be people who don't like you for whether they're jealous, whether, they're whatever it is. Like, there will always be people who don't like you or don't like what you're doing, how you're doing it. But at the end of the day, it's not their journey, it's mine. And I'm going to figure out a way to achieve my goals and my dreams. And, everybody who tells me I can't, that's just another reason why I'm going to. And so I think it's not like me trying to be like cocky or me trying to, be like that. But I just have confidence in myself because I know what I'm willing to do. And everyone who tells me that I can't just drives me to want to do it more.
Yeah. I mean, because you're in that 26 class, and there's a lot of good softball players in that class. And at the end of the day, like, I feel like you're going to position yourself right up there at the top. Like, and I don't know if we could honestly say 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that you were at that level, to be honest, right? So, but now, I mean, how good does it feel to have the naysayers and the people that were haters now calling you, now asking you if you're happy on the team you're on? Like, how good does that feel?
I mean, it feels nice, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to be happy until the job's completely done and, I've really like achieved my goals and everything's said and done. But it's definitely in the last 3 years of club that I've been in and having so many people, especially the 2 years ago, telling me that there was no way I was going to make it. Or honestly, like, even when I joined Rogue, there's no way you're going to play on the top team. You're not going to make it to 18U. Like, I had people telling me then. So I would definitely say it's a good feeling, but it'll be better once I'm at that point where I can completely prove them wrong type of thing, you know?
Yeah. What would you say if you could look right now into the camera to that D1 coach? What would you say to them right now? Like, my name is Brooke Denton, and this is why you want me in your program.
Honestly, I would just say that I'm what I think separates me from other people is I'm going to do whatever it takes to be the best at what I'm doing. And so in this case, with it being softball, like I'm going to work harder than you think I am. Like if you're going to tell me to work this hard, I'm going to work slightly more. I'm going to work just that little bit above. So I would just say that I'm I'm going to be able to separate myself however way I possibly can. And that's how I think to myself is I'm going to find that way to separate myself. What's special to me? And for me, I really do feel like you said, as cliche as it is, like I love the process and I love being able to wake up every day and know that I'm fortunate enough to be able to play this game and to be able to have the opportunities that I have and be able to be placed in the position that I am, and I'm going to take advantage of it. And so wherever I end up, I'm going to do whatever it takes for me to make a difference. And I'm going to make that difference.
Yeah. No, I love that. Yeah, I think, when it's all said and done, there's going to be some people that, and I'm speaking directly about college coaches, whoever that is that decides that you're the right fit is going to be happy with you in 4 years. I'm going to get a thank you. And I think anybody who's had a small piece of your journey is going to get a thank you just for like recommending or doing our small part. Like again, everything that you're gonna get is gonna be you. Like you've done it, nobody else. You've done it. You had people that support you. Obviously, I'm big on like, I love doing this, I love being a part of it, but it's so rewarding to watch people like you go work hard. Like you said, you're going to get out of it what you put into it. Watch you go work hard and then become successful, because I mean that life lesson is something that will just be with you forever. And the things that you're doing now to try to reach your goals, even being able to set goals and make a plan to reach those goals, those life lessons are huge. So I'm excited for you. Again, I'm excited for the summer. I think that even even your voice on the field, whether you're having a great day or not, your voice on the field is always really, it makes everything better. And so I'm excited for summer. I can't wait for you to get back on the field. I can't wait for us to get back on the field. So you have any final thoughts? If you knew of a younger player right now that asked you the question, what do I have to do as a 12, 13-year-old right now, what's the one piece of advice that you would give that player?
Honestly, I would just say embrace it. Just like enjoy the process, the challenges, the people, the experiences. Like you're never going to be able to experience something like these however many years you get to play softball for. You're never going to be able to experience again. So I just say embrace it. Like you're able to grow such a community and so many experiences that they're going to be in your life forever, and they're going to be key moments and key memories for the rest of your life. So I would just say that aspect of it, just enjoy it, love the game. Like if you truly love the game and you have the passion for the game, go all in. Like put all your eggs into that one basket and work as hard as you possibly can, because at the end of the day, being able to say that you worked as hard as you possibly can and that you did everything that you physically, mentally, emotionally could do, like that's what's so, that's the best feeling type of thing. So I would just say like anyone who's younger, who's thinking about playing softball, or you're trying to figure out what's your path or what's your way, because everyone's is different. And like I said, it took me a while to figure out exactly what I wanted to do and, where I wanted to play and what sport I wanted to play and everything that it was. Like, once you can set in stone, like, I'm all in, just go all in. Work hard, hit every day, field every day, do everything you possibly can, because you don't want to leave softball wishing you would have, type of thing. So I just think, like, we're young, however, you're 11 to until you graduate college, like, that's your time span, type of thing. So I just say, do everything you possibly can and just have fun with it and just love it. Like, you're never going to experience anything like it again. Just have fun with it and love it at the end of the day.
Leave it all on the field. Yeah, no, I love that. I think that's all really good stuff. That's all I got. Like, is there anything else you want to say? I mean, I think you just said it. Anything else you want to put out there before we wrap it up?
No, that was my last thing. It was just kind of what I would say to some of the younger girls, or like, I think like little Brooke watching this, what I would have wanted to hear.
All right. Well, hey, I really appreciate you jumping on. It was fun. I look forward to, like I said, look forward to the summer. Look forward to getting back after it here pretty soon. And and I'm sure I'll see you soon. All right. I just want to say thanks for listening. We will continue working to elevate the sport and get caught up with those who are influential in the fast pitch community. And hopefully we can help you navigate your softball journey. If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Caught Up with Randy Kaye, or at Coach KAZ. You can listen to the audio version of our podcast on Google, Apple, Spotify, or wherever you consume your favorite content. Finally, please follow us on X and Instagram using the handles at Coach KAZ. Thanks for listening.
This one's for my wife. Could have left 1,000 times just about my side.